Once my friend was really drunk and said, I really want a cake donut. And I didn't know that was actually a thing. I thought he just took two things that he liked and put them together. So I told him I wanted bacon milk. Is that what pencil crayons are like? What's up, guys? Welcome to Boss Level 8, where we make fun of movie critics and where we also wear the exact same shirt as we wore in the other Deadpool video. Either we recorded these in a row, or I own one shirt. That being said, we are taking a look at Barry Hurt's review of Deadpool to see what he had to say. Like we said in the other Deadpool video, it's kind of hard to guess what a critic is going to say about Deadpool, but let's take a look at it together. We'll see what happens. If it's your first time here, hit the subscribe button and the little bell right next to it. Now let's take a look at the review. While I am no longer 10 years old, I want to start everything I say now with like, while I am no longer, and then like anything I want to say, like, while I am no longer sensitive to lactose. And then just say whatever I was gonna say. While I am no longer punching children, while I am no longer than 5'9", get it? That was an intelligence joke. Let's move on. Being a film critic means I get to indulge my inner child more often than others. Ugh. It is almost a prerequisite for the job, given how fervently the film industry, mostly since its inception, but especially over the past quarter century, bows down at the altar of the teenage boy. Man. Honestly, in the Bible, they kind of skipped those years. They jumped right from manger to mangy? I don't know. They just went from baby to 30s in the Bible. Who's a teenage boy who's been bowed down to? Justin Bieber? Maybe? Never before have the demands of my inner man-child been so stirred, though, than while experiencing Deadpool 2. A movie that feels scribbled in pencil crayon. Pencil crayon? The hell's a pencil? Like a colored pencil? Is that what you mean? Pencil crayon? Is that regional? Are you in like the southern tip of some state that I've never been to and where everyone says pencil crayons? Once my friend was really drunk and said, I really want a cake donut. And I didn't know that was actually a thing. I thought he just took two things that he liked and put them together. So I told him I wanted bacon milk. Is that what pencil crayons are like? Drenched in Jolt Cola, I know what that is, and coated with the dust of 1,000 discarded bags of flaming hot Cheetos. We're gonna movie voice this.
A movie that feels scribbled in pencil crayon.
Please stop cheating on me.
Drenched in Jolt Cola and coated with the dust of 1,000 discarded bags of flaming hot Cheetos.
You stay here with your weird secret sex lips.
Deadpool 2, coming this summer, in your mouth.
All right, who ordered the stripper?
Wow, that got dirty. The violence is extreme and non-stop, except for when it stopped. I mean, there were parts where it stopped. There's nothing that's all action unless you're in war. Actually, even then, they have to eat their rations sometimes. The editing is perfect for those whose attention spans are taxed by a tweet. The jokes hit upon every elementary school kid's favorite subjects. Comic books, movies about comic books, sex, but only some vague notion of sex, as if viewing a porn video through a scrambled pay-per-view feed, or, for today's generation, via a slow-to-buffer Wi-Fi connection. A slow-to-buffer Wi-Fi connection? So, like, you see it, but just have to wait for it to buffer to continue? Just because it's like a still image of two people banging doesn't mean you still don't see the two people banging. Before, when it was scrambled, you saw nothing. You're like, I think that's a nipple, and I don't know whose. Now it's like, what, it's slightly less instant? If there is one moment in the film that even brushes against maturity, gross, I missed it. Also gross. Probably because I was too busy wondering how long I could prevent my own, now 3.5-year-old son from getting his hands on this. I don't know, parenting? That's a good start. That's always 3.5. Like, he's just gonna wander into a theater? Or it like comes out on Blu-ray and the kid's like, I'm off to Best Buy. Like, he's 3.5. Be a parent. Also understand that he can't do that. It's like someone's child-proofing their house. It's like, you're gonna wanna make sure that they can't reach this stove. Also, you're gonna wanna move this Deadpool DVD, because Lord knows that 3.5-year-old kid's gonna figure out how to put that thing into a machine that they don't understand. Turn on the television and make it play. No! 3.5 years old. I'm really worried about who's having children now. Its plot combines several narrative threads from its comic book source material and blends them together until they're stupidly simple to swallow. Again, gross. But also it seems like that's a great way to make a movie. It took a bunch of stuff from the comic book source material and made it so that people could watch it. Yeah. That seems like a pretty good way to make it. That's a good way to make anything. It's like, hey, we should make a new type of car. Well, we should look at the other cars that have been made and then make another car that people want. All right. Oh, crap. Turns out people are buying these. Who knew? But then a time-traveling grump from the future named Cable, Josh Brolin, looking genuinely upset to be here. No, looking like Cable. Also, don't resting bitch face Josh Brolin as Cable. Don't tell him to smile. Hey, Josh, you're prettier when you smile. That's fucked up, man. Crosses Deadpool's path on the hunt for a kid, Julian Dennison, who has the potential to grow up into the Earth's worst nightmare, and then Deadpool 2 succumbs to the same comic book tropes that it so frequently mocked the first time out. Except for all of the times that it takes those tropes and shoves it up something's ass. This movie does so many things to troll us, and so many things that are like the antithesis of what would happen in another movie, and are not what we expected at all, except for the fact that we expected it to be, you know, violent and funny and irreverent and Deadpool. The Enterprise doubles down to the point of gluttony. More guts, more cameos, more gags that aim for subversiveness, but are so repetitive that they loop back around to being obligatory and self-defeating. One joke about the popularity of dubstep on movie soundtracks is fine. 2 is a criminal act. Sorry, one guy who still likes dubstep. Now it's 3 jokes. Ditto the film's only truly funny scene, a straight ripoff of MacGruber. I love when it's not the only funny scene, it's the only truly funny scene. It's like the other things were funny, but they weren't truly funny. Where like, the fact that I'm laughing would imply that there's humor there, but there's no truth. It's not actually funny in like the essence of funniness or funniosity. The fact that the film can mock the conventions of its sister X-Men movies in one breath and exploit the worst narrative crutches of comics in another, look up women in refrigerators afterward if you want to have a really bad day, indicates the film is inherently conflicted with itself. I don't understand what comedy you would like, because I feel like every comedian will make fun of something and then inherently make fun of themselves, and that's part of like understanding humor. If someone were to make fun of like the dieting industry but then like actually succumbs to all of the bullshit of the dieting industry, that's part of the humor of it. Like, we can all relate to it. It's like, oh, he says exactly what we're thinking. Like, that's literally how comedy works. So the fact that he's commenting on a thing in the movie, or the movie itself is commenting on a thing and then subsequently does it, is like the essence of how you do comedy. It's like expecting Jerry Seinfeld to not eat airline food. He eats it, but later he, you know, tells us what's the deal with it. There's an interesting superhero movie lurking in here somewhere. If the original film had only earned, say, half of its $783 million, maybe we would have gotten to see it too. As it is, Deadpool 2 is a film that is merely aggressively aggressive. I understand why we say passive aggressive, but I mean, you could have just said aggressive. It doesn't make it more aggressive, you just say it twice. Although I do like the idea of people saying things twice to like further emphasize it. Like you stub your toe and you're like, fuck, fuck. But that's just Tourette's, or stuttering, or funny. Not that Tourette's or stuttering is funny, but yelling fuck, fuck is. And of course, the kids will love it. Sure, the film is rated R in the United States and 18A in Ontario, ensuring no 10-year-olds should touch it, but kids can be clever, or at least more clever than Deadpool 2. Hey, I mean, if your 3.5-year-old can figure out a way to watch Deadpool 2 by going to the movie theater, purchasing a ticket and slyly sneaking in because they're clearly underage, and then sitting next to someone with no one being like, why the fuck is there a baby in the movie theater? Then yes, 10-year-olds will also see it. What did you guys think of Deadpool 2? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you hate this review? Do you love this review? Clearly I thought it was dumb. Not the movie, this review. I like Deadpool 2. If it's your first time here, hit the subscribe button and the little bell right next to it. And until we see you guys next time, geek out and game on.